Child and crawdads be hoping that all the lies that they told about you will be louder than the truth that you're speaking. That's what I know they thought for me, and what some of them still think. The stuff is still ricocheting back to me. The truth is the most brilliant defense. That way, it's not about what I say or about what they said. There's no one who can look at the facts in a situation, from my job, from my previous relationships to my previous friendships. They cannot look at all facts and come out thinking what my enemies wanted them to think. That's the same for you. If you've been involved in any type of a situation where you've been smear campaigned, I want you to know at the root of all smear campaigns is it's not as simple as just saying that it's a lie. It's not just a lie. It's always, like, it sounds so elementary, because that's the mind frame. It's always about envy and jealousy. It is always about that. It's this one lady
from the past
who was terminated, who I'm like, if I had ever spoke up against you, like, all they would have had to do was research my claim and roll back a camera, and you would have been terminated. She would have been terminated on the spot. But I'm like, because I know that you're young, because I know a little bit about your situation. I know a little bit about her situation, and just did not want her to get fired. Man, she got herself gone. That's the literal definition of the trash taking itself out, okay? And I'm smiling, but it's really not funny, because I'm going to tell you, excuse me, it doesn't matter what I think of someone or what they think of me. I got the hiccups. I never feel good about someone losing their job. If that person is not, if they are doing their jobs right, I don't see, like, I'm not quick to take somebody's job. I never want to be responsible for that. And the truth is, it's like, if you're doing things, if you are, I'm not even going to, because people are going to start feeling, all the dogs are going to start whining, that are going to feel hit by the point blank examples that I could give. But I don't want to even be like that. And that's what I'm saying. The people that I show that type of mercy and consideration to are the same people you still running your mouth. You done got yourself burnt out of a place, and you're still talking noise. You're still talking noise. My thing is, I want to know, how come there's not, like, follow-up, like, on the subject but off the subject. Like in the DHS cases, whenever people make a false claim, like I said, in my youth, when I was in my 20s and my babies were like toddlers, I am telling you, like, DHS stayed trying to come to my house, trying to come and investigate, and I'm like, what are you investigating? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party. I work and I come home, your turn. They would pop up, and my house would be clean. My children would be clean. Their hair would be done. They would be of high morale, like happy, communicating, with respect. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Offering the investigators drinks. And I'm just like, so on the flip side of this, I don't even want you to tell me who it is that called in a fake claim. And maybe this is how the state maybe justifies giving you the salary that you have, that I know ain't shit, right? They justify it by allowing you to go out and investigate. Well, what happens when you investigate and you see, not only is there nothing substantiated from the claim that was made, is obviously a false claim, do you never go back and hold the people accountable for making those claims? Did you know that they can't legally comment publicly about a state or federal case? I could be mistaken about the federal case, okay? But for sure the state, okay? Unless that's evolved and I don't know it. But regardless, no one's ever going to tell me that I, like, put a gag order on me and tell me you can no longer tell the truth. The liars and enemies, the foe, they can't say that. You legally cannot go around spreading gossip, baseless lies about people, and not be held responsible. It will come out one day. It'll come out one day. And here's another walker walking. He's not really walking close to the car necessarily, but yeah, he's kind of moved away. But I'm like, why you gotta get so close to the car? You don't want to see you this close, okay? Yeah. I know I could and should be inside, but I'm out here because I don't have to go in yet. I don't have to go in the house yet. Okay, I'm done. Or I've never heard anyone talk about the backlash from women who would make false claims about men that cause men to go to jail, from assault and battery to claims of abuse with their children, physical and sexual. I've never heard about, so I've heard about the men being proven innocent once the children became of age and admitted, my mother put me up to this, or my father put me up to this, and some innocent person served time in prison. So you get out, okay, that person gets out of jail. What about the people that made the false claims? This is how you know whose mother world this is. It's truly Satan's world. Even for the people who claim that they don't believe in God. If you don't believe in God, that means you don't believe in Satan. And some people don't want to believe in God because they don't want there to be a Satan. They don't want there to be God or Satan, anyone that will hold them responsible for their bullshit. Is that a part of shadow, or is that a part of my light side? That I would call justice against people who have made this world that's already a difficult place to navigate in and to live in. They've made it in such a terrible place. I remember the first time a lady came into a hospital that I was also a patient at, and I'm just listening to her claim, and how I watched how the staff treated her when she said, I know that there is some type of tracking device embedded in my skin, and I did not put it there. I know there's something there. And she made them get it out. They found what she was talking about. Now, to say who put it there, she tried to say it was her ex-husband. She speculated that it might be a previous employer. And I remember thinking, and I was only in my 20s at the time that this happened, I was like, either she is delusional, which is just super sad, if she's wrong about this, or if she's telling the truth, she's in danger. To uncloak that type of truth, and then to be able to back it up, because these people pulled out a little bit. It looked like a pill, but it was a tracking device. How did it even get embedded in her skin? That's why I'm saying, when you trust someone enough to lie down next to, you better know that they're not putting their athlete's foot fungus in your hair to make your hair flaky and fall out, that they're not putting makeup on you. It's like, yes, I do want justice. I am calling justice on you, motherfucker. I'm calling justice. I want it to come to you, and swiftly, or however it's meant to. But what I really want more than anything is for you to get the healing that you need, so that you'll stop trying to tamper with people. There is some crawdad that every time I post a talk, like within minutes of that being posted, it is like there's a restriction put on it because someone has reported it. And it's like, what are you reporting? It's always some type of, it'll give me a message about substance abuse or about a degree of nudity. And I'm just like, I don't even walk around the house in the nude. I don't even walk from the bedroom to the bathroom in the nude. But there are people who are trying to say that I've made a video where I'm talking about the things that I'm talking about. Like, even what I'm talking about, that's not enough to make a person think, like, I know I can't stand her, but I'm going to let myself report a video so that it can be blocked temporarily or hopefully permanently. Like, what a person must have to, I just feel so sorry for whoever it is, because it's like that's real estate that nobody deserves to have in your mind. Whatever it is, if whoever it is, if you think that I took a job, or I ain't going to say that I took nobody's man, because I would never. I am no side chick. I don't subscribe to that. I've never been that, not knowingly. So if you happen to catch your guy looking at me, or you see my number in his phone and you don't believe him when he says, oh, I met her at the grocery store, she said she could braid my hair, or I used to work with her and we just used to be work colleagues, or whatever, if you don't believe whoever it is, and whatever. There was this one lady, you guys, a couple of years ago, this complex I was living in, the complex, because they were penny pinching like a mofo and didn't want to actually hire security, they put a lot of responsibility on their maintenance captain, like the maintenance guy. He was like the maintenance, like the head of maintenance over this big, ginormous property. And so it's not just that we need the locks changed on the door because I lost my key. He would come in and inspect all kinds of things. And so we would report whenever we would have, if we would see or observe suspicious behavior. If we called the office, it would ring to his phone. And so, being there for 5 or 6 years, and then I'm finally getting ready to move out. Well, the maintenance man didn't know that I'm on my last leg there. I'm getting ready to move out. He didn't know that, my time there was almost up. And I called because someone had video footage of everyone except for me had a ring camera. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, everyone had it except for me. And some people showed me, several people showed me on the same day footage. And so I was just calling to report this to the guy, hey, what are the actions that I take? Can we talk about this? Do you know? Because the office was closed. It was like a Friday. The weekend, the office was always closed on Saturday and Sunday. But anyway, this man's wife. Now, mind you, the whole time I've been living there, when he comes to the house, he's seeing me and my children. He's seeing my family. And he's talking about him and his wife, their family, his children and everything. So but I had never met her. This woman starts calling me from his phone and then from her phone, and then had some female friends and cousins and family members from New York calling my phone, child. I was like, hold on. So when she first started, I was like, hey, because she's like, why are you calling my husband? I was like, who is your husband? And she finally called me from his phone instead of from her phone. And so I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, so I reported something. If you look at the full thread, the thread will show you what we were talking about. And we had several threads, because it's been years that I've been knowing this man. Nothing inappropriate ever came across that thread. Ever. That man was one of the most honorable men I have met, in the last 20 years, 15, 20 years. Just, he never ever made a pass at me, never cut his eye at me, nothing like that. No subliminals ever. But his wife, right? This woman started to try to put pressure and was calling back to back to back. Well, you need to know, blah, 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 to the point where he finally reached out and was like, yeah, Miss TenecaMM, I am maintenance and security stuff, ain't got nothing to do with me. Never mind that when I called the office to make a report, the emergency backup number rang to his phone. I didn't even know that it was ringing to him. So I'm leaving voice messages. Okay. And so it's ringing back to his phone. And then he would call and follow up. Yes, I'm calling back about blah, blah, blah. So you need blah, blah, blah. Okay, we'll send somebody over. Okay, well, for that, you need to call the police. You need to call 911 and let us know if there's a report that's made. If you could just do us a favor and share that with us. Like I said, they had been working this man outside of his job description as the head of maintenance because he was not security. So, but this lady would not believe me. And so I was like, even though it's hella offensive and I was definitely in my ego, like, I don't have to tell you shit. I was like, well, I've been a wife before. And if I had a question, I would have appreciated someone, just a woman, meet me on the level. Let's talk like women. So I opened that up and I said, hey, if you wanted to have a conversation, I'm willing to do that. I was like, we can talk, but you're not getting just to be disrespectful to me in your text messages, leaving voice messages, trying to call me FaceTime, wanting to see how I looked. And the first time I answered the phone and my face is on the phone, but I think she was covering the phone, so it looked black. And I was just like, I can meet you as the honorable woman that I am. I don't know if you can take that. I don't know if you're willing to accept that, but because I understand, especially if your relationship is on the rocks, if there are things happening that it really is nobody's business, but it's something that no one knows about, which of course the complex did know about their issues. They knew about her cheating on her husband and leaving him for another man, and how he was heartbroken waiting for her to come back. Now I found that out. I knew that, okay? But I'm not there to throw it up in their face because I celebrated them when she came back and he allowed her to come back because he missed his wife. His ass is getting fat. Because he's eating out, even though he could cook his ass off. We just watched this man just go through it. Never saw him with no women at his house. I'm telling you, the brother was straight up stand up. But his wife. Have you ever heard people say, it's like it's said that the person who is making the accusations, they're accusing you of cheating, is usually the one that's cheating? When you have a history of that, of course you're going to look at it. But anyway, all I'm saying is this woman, in her mind, she found a reason that justified her being herself, acting like the demon that she was. I was just like, you don't want to talk now? And I'm telling you that I can bring clarity. I can answer your questions. We can actually have a conversation. And I can tell you who I am. I can show you who I am. I wasn't going to show her my lease, but I'm like, girl, you definitely have it all wrong. And I don't have anything negative to say about your husband, other than every time he spoke about you, he spoke with nothing but respect and honor about you and your marriage. And then it got so bad that other people, because again, you don't know who knows who in the complex. This complex, it's like they had 3 properties under the one name, and they shared a corner there. And so on this lot, it's 4 different lots, and they all look different. It's a historical district, but anyway, there are people that I knew in, now I won't say every building, but after being there for so long, I knew the neighbors. I knew a lot of people, and they were coming to me like, girl, what happened between you and so and so? Like, his wife is talking cash shit about you. And I was like, his wife that has never met me and refused to have a conversation with me, going around and smearing my name, calling me a homewrecker. And I'm like, because everyone knew that I was also divorced at that point. I'm like, just because I'm divorced, that don't mean that I'm open for relationships and I'm down to do whatever. I'm still doing me, which is going to work, coming home, spending all of my free time with my family. When I wasn't with my family, I'm journaling. You know what I mean? I'm living my life. I'm in my own world. This is our vibe. This is what we're doing, what I'm doing. And it's nothing to do with any man, whether he's someone's husband or not. It's just me. Anyway, I'm saying this because I'm talking about those smear campaigns and that are still going on. And every now and then I'll start getting those calls from, it's 2 specific states from up north. New York is one of them. I'm not even going to say the other state, but I'm just saying whenever that starts, I'm like, they must have had a fight. So she's calling me. She's texting me. I saw profiles on social media whenever, before whoever it was jacked my Instagram account. By the way, ItsTeneca via Instagram. I still don't have access. It's been over 2 years now. I still don't have access to it. No access to it. 405 996-0101 was the phone number that I used to use to access that Instagram. And I don't have it now. As he comes, hi. Okay, and I also wanted to clarify something. In my last video, I mentioned the sensei. I used to call one of my exes like sensei because number one, I did learn a lot from him. And so, but whenever I would be like, if we're having a conversation about something that I know about, then I would sarcastically like insert, yes, sensei, yes, sensei. I would just being sassy. But I've come across men, older men, that they were so knowledgeable about things that, topics that I was interested in, that I asked them, I was like, hey, take me under your wing and show me what you got. Teach me that. Teach me how to do that. I'm saying so many. It's been like 3 men in my lifetime that I was just, I made the genuine four men. And I was just so impressed with them. And from languages to information about different cultures, they were lexicons, man. They were just absolutely, they knew a lot. And I wanted to know more about how they knew, what they knew, their story, and how they evolved to that. Because no one some people do come out just for real, like super intelligent, thirsty for knowledge and thirsty for that information. And I knew the areas that I wanted to improve upon myself. And so I reached out to people that I saw walking that walk, that I wanted to be in their company. I wanted to be under their leadership, under their instruction. Mentor me in this area. Mentor me. I'm a worthy student. And of course, I've definitely had several women that, and authors, entrepreneurs, business owners, people that I just really, really admired and looked up to. And, man, those are experiences that I can. Anyway, I just wanted to make it clear that, that was a little bit of like inner banter, sarcasm, but like that there are some legit mentors, and I don't want any of them to feel like one in particular. There's only one that I call sensei. I don't want him, if he's looking at my content, to be like, young lady, what was that? Just know it's not about you, sensei. Okay, I'm done with that. Okay, that brings me to another topic. Okay, so one of the deepest connections that I've had with someone, it wasn't based on a physical attraction. It was all about the intellectual and the spiritual, his mental capacity. And again, he was just like, he's a walking brain. Excuse me. Now, I myself am strange and unusual. No, that's not what I was going to say. But I myself am in the position and have been in the position where younger men specifically, younger women too, but I'm talking about the opposite sex, and the responsibility when you know that you are helping, you're being used as an element. You are someone you are going to be used to evolve this person's idea of spirituality or of the philosophies of this world. Okay, anyway, so the point is, we have a responsibility when people come to you, whether they're younger or older, but if they're coming to you and you know the effect that you have on people, like you're in a position where you can help grow their career, or you can help evolve their idea about women, about Black people, about, like, it can be someone like you're the youngest sibling talking to someone who is the oldest sibling. Just you're in a position where you can bring clarity. You can bring clarity to some things. That's such a powerful position, and I've seen so many people like completely abuse that. You will be held responsible for manipulating people that you looked up, and these people were in your charge, in your care, and you were supposed to instruct them correctly. You were supposed to guide them somewhere, and you choose not to do that. You need to look that up for yourself and see, well, what is the penalty for this? What is the penalty? To me, like the first penalty is in your mind. That's why it's in the Bible. That's why Jesus said that the kingdom of God is within you. That's whatever you, I'm not saying that that's all that it is, that it's whatever you make it, but like you have to be able to live with yourself. I have been on a couple of jobs, one like extremely low paying and one super high paying, where I had botched training. That's because the people that I would come onto their team, they could see that I was bigger than what I appeared. Like, and I don't mean physically, like, oh, she's a big woman. No, they knew she's more than just a clerk. She's more than just an agent. She's more than just a representative. She has to have, like, people oftentimes question, like, if I'm like a mole or someone sent in from corporate to kind of spy on and review and audit. And I'm just like, I'm an employee just like you. No, that's not what this position is. I'm not auditing anyone, because they just knew that I brought a higher character, a higher moral fiber than what was currently shared and expressed on their team, or reflective on their team. And I just so instead of them teaching me, a lot, because so often in these jobs. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that. That's the other thing, is I listen to my intuition and my spirit. I can really, really want to say something, and a part of me is like, yeah, I'm going to say this, and then they're really going to know exactly what your bitch ass did. I be checking myself, like, everything is not for public consumption. And I'm actually not speaking to necessarily so that someone gets penalized. I do want my truth to be louder than the lies that are told about me. And so I keep my audience. I have an audience of 1. I don't be expecting to get 5 views, 8 views, 400 views. I don't be expecting that. But I do want the truth shed about my situation. And for others that may be in an oppressed situation where the environment around you has gone gray and there's an air of confusion, there's an air of uncertainty. You need to know, especially if you know that you're showing up in your best self, in your highest self, in the relationship, in the home, in the friendship circle, on the team, at the workplace. Like, if you know in every scenario that you ain't coming, with no bullshit, there's no reason for you to be in a place where there's uncertainty, where you feel afraid to speak, afraid to move, afraid to just be in any way. Especially if you're moving with integrity and you're moving with intention. You're protecting your investment of time in this relationship. You're protecting your investment of time at this job. No one should be able to make you feel that way. And so if you're uncomfortable telling the truth and you think that it's falling on deaf ears, you have an obligation to yourself to move around. That by itself should tell you that you've outgrown this relationship, that you've outgrown, whether it's a work or a romantic relationship or a platonic friendship. When you get where you just being is not enough and you have to perform on some levels. It's like you are the plant keeping itself inside of that little bitty pot, because the moment that you put yourself in a bigger pot, then your roots get to expand and you get more of the oxygen, you get more of the. And because you're getting access to more soil in the plant, then your leaves grow. Your leaves and the vines grow thicker and stronger because they're able to carry more nutrients to your leaves, because you've put yourself in a big enough pot that will allow you to expand. Now, even that's self-ministry for me, because I'm inside of a little ass pot right now. Okay, but this is like the Little Shop of Horrors version of myself, where it's like Groot. If you cut off Groot's arm and got rid of the rest of his body, he will eventually grow back into himself. It's just going to take some time. I'm like in my adolescent Groot stage. It's going to take me a while to get back to the giant that I was before. I mean, that's still a part of me, but yeah. And I can just hear some of the narcs that like to look at my stuff because they obsessively stalk. Some may say, well, she got cut down to size. No. Everything that happens is happening for me. And I hope that you see it that way for yourself also. Everything that is happening, you can say that it's happening to you, but it really is happening for you to expand, for you to evolve, for you to grow, for the better of you. When I was going to church, there was a song that said, the devil meant it for bad, but I'm so glad that God meant it for my good. That's what I'm saying. I might not be religious anymore, but that's very much training up the child in the way that they should go. So I can quote those scriptures like the back of my hand. I can quote those lyrics to the chorus and all the aspects of the gospel songs that I came up singing, just because I don't believe exactly the way that I was taught. Exactly the way that I was taught. I have the path. I'm on it. And I encourage others, like, you got to be able to take what resonates. You got to be able to take the good things off of the plate. That you know that it has things that, why would I eat the corn? Okay, I'm not going to say that. Why would I eat this if it has bioengineered ingredients, or if it has GMO, genetically modified organisms? You know that you want the highest value of the food. You want organic. You want the non-GMO stuff. You can push the other stuff that you don't want off of your plate. But I recommend before you push anything, like there's a spiritually, I've also heard that to reject anything is to reject everything. You have to be able to see the good and the purpose in everything that is placed. I want you to know that I appreciate you tuning in to my Conscious Rant. I am TenecaMM. It's TenecaMM. Please subscribe, like, and share my content. Let me know in the ways that you think that I can evolve my channel. I'm open to suggestions, and I'm just really grateful for the views. Take care of yourself. Stay conscious.